Good morning, and thank you for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be covering Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, and Baker Mayfield, Dana White's feelings on Tyson versus Paul, Victor Wembanyama, and make sure you guys stick around for later in the show when we'll be diving into the oddities of the day. Before we start, I'd like to ask you guys like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is gsmcpodcast.net. This puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. Hello, Tate. How are you doing today?
Hello, Miss Faith. Miss, it's Tuesday. She's
Tuesday.
Alive and kicking.
She's a lot better than she was yesterday.
But we did not have any technical difficulties yesterday.
No, we didn't. But you need to be careful saying that, because I feel like today we're going to have something because we didn't have one yesterday.
Mondays, we always have technical difficulties.
Yeah,
and
always.
So I've just kind of put our business out on the street here.
Yeah.
Also, I just realized I had my microphone wrong direction.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
Can you
that
tell
was
the
our
difference?
issue. Yes.
Okay.
Maybe that was just
Today,
the issue for today.
I just looked down and I'm like, why is my microphone backwards? So, all right.
Also, I want to give a shout out. Today is my lovely mother's birthday, so I want to say happy birthday to my mom.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday. She's going on a field trip today with her class, so she's getting a nice little out of the classroom thing for her birthday.
Oh,
today,
so your mom's a school teacher then?
Mm-hmm. She teaches kindergarten. Yes.
Wow, kindergarten teachers.
Yes.
Kindergarten. Can you go wrong with it? Has anyone ever had a bad kindergarten teacher?
I mean, I haven't. I loved my kindergarten teacher. So
yeah, everyone has this. Everyone's kindergarten teacher, they're like a different level there. They're always super sweet. Mm-hmm. Unless you go to Catholic school. You always hear those Catholic school nun. Beatrice the nun. She worked in the lunchroom and she was a nun. That's the only time you hear those rough stories.
Yeah, teachers run in my family, and I refuse to be a teacher.
I'm noticing that.
Yeah.
So no interest at all, huh?
No, I grew up with my dad was a teacher, my mom's a teacher, and my brother's a teacher. So
see, I would
not
rather,
something I want to do.
I'd rather be a professor than a teacher. No, none of this K through 12 stuff. I'm talking college professor.
I agree, but you got to go through a lot of stuff to become a college professor. That just seems like a lot of work that I don't want to do. So.
You're like me. You're like, I'm going to cut my own path. I can dig that.
Yeah.
And then, Faith was looking out for me today. She checked to see if I made sure I had my snack.
Yes.
And I'm like, I've already eaten breakfast. I just ate right before I came on air, so.
Tate likes to snack during the show.
This show takes a lot out of me. I got to fuel up halfway through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Although I got to cut back on the feeling up. I'm starting to fill out. So got to get a little better at that one. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So what do you have for me today?
So we had some big stuff going on with the NFL lately. So we had Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, and Baker Mayfield all signed new deals this past weekend, I believe.
Yes.
So Russell Wilson signed with the Steelers. Kirk Cousins is leaving the Vikings for a 4-year deal with the Falcons, and Baker Mayfield agrees on a 3-year contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So starting out with Russell Wilson, he said goodbye to the Denver Broncos, and it was kind of up in the air for a little bit whether or not he was going to go to the Steelers, but said he was really interested in them, and the Steelers were interested in him as well. And I believe it was it yesterday or the day before yesterday when they signed him?
I think it was yesterday. I could be off. No, maybe it was day for you. Yeah.
Anyway.
So one of those.
Recently, Russell Wilson signed with the Steelers. And we did talk about that a little bit last was it last week that we talked about it? Or did we talk about it yesterday? Last week. Okay.
Last week.
My days kind of run in together a little bit. So Russell Wilson posted on X tweeting year 13 grateful and added the Steelers. And then the NFL official Twitter account chimed in and added Russell Wilson is a Steeler. So I know since we were talking about this last week, you said that it would be a good move if the Steelers brought in Russell Wilson. So now that he is officially a Steeler, I would like to hear your thoughts on it and how you feel it's going to go for next season.
I thought it was the perfect move for the Steelers. Redoing and bringing back Kenny Pickett, I thought was a bad decision. But I think it's a good decision long term for Kenny Pickett. Having Kenny Pickett, I know they're saying it's an open competition, that Russ isn't brought in to be the de facto starting quarterback.
Right.
But, he was brought in there to start, in my opinion. Kenny Pickett has the ability to be a good quarterback if given time to develop. He's not ready to be a starter. That was the biggest problem I had with Kenny Pickett. If you're planning on working with a quarterback long term, you do not want him developing bad habits. And to me, that's exactly what he was doing. So now you go out, you're able to get a veteran quarterback, a Super Bowl champion quarterback, a future Hall of Fame quarterback in which he can lead the team. A lot of the mistakes that Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph made, Russ will not make. A lot of situations where maybe it's an incomplete pass or lost, stop short. Russ can make plays with his legs. He's such an underrated playmaker with his legs. That will extend downs. No one does more with less than the Pittsburgh Steelers. Giving Mike Tomlin a weapon like Russ gives them a chance to be even more of a dynamic team. Pittsburgh has been quite boring in many ways. But adding Russ adds a certain level of flair to them. You have to prepare for Russ. If not, Russ can kill you with his arm, he can kill you with his mind, and he can kill you by running. Russ is that triple threat quarterback that the Steelers need, especially with maybe the lack of talent, in my opinion, that the Steelers have. It's also for Russ, it's a good move. He needed to get out of there. The whole concept of him talking about the fact that maybe he would come back and things like that, Sean Payton made it impossible for him to come back. No one in their right mind thought bringing Russ back to the Denver Broncos was going to be a good move. Now, they're paying him $36 million to go play for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Russ signed for, I think, $1.6 million, plus he gets that $36 million on top of that. And he gets if he's the starter, which we're assuming he will be the starter, he gets to go back and play Denver later on in the season, get some payback. I think it's a good move. This also opens the way for, with them getting rid of Russ and, the cap hit, the $80 million cap hit is going to hit the Denver Broncos over the next 2 years. So $80 million is going to cost them to get rid of Russ. Makes it a guarantee that they're going out and drafting a quarterback. As a quarterback, though, it's scary. I don't know if I would want to get drafted by, the Broncos. When you look at how they treated Russ,
Yeah.
is this, but Drew Brees and Sean Payton had an amazing relationship, and that's the thing you hope for. And it could be one of those situations where Sean Payton wanted to bring in his guy. He wants his guy to lead his offense. And I think he's more loyal to his guys, and he wasn't loyal to Russ because he didn't bring him in. But it concerns me because I think they draft the 12th spot. Let's say they draft a quarterback that has the potential to be a solid quarterback in the NFL, but you have a situation where maybe he needs a little more seasoning, some time to learn the NFL. Kind of about like the way I think about Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett right now should not be a starting quarterback. Trey Lance shouldn't be right now a starting quarterback. That doesn't mean they don't have the ability to become a starting quarterback or even a very good quarterback. But it takes a little marinating sometimes. And with them now being cash strapped with the $80 million, and if they go out and draft a quarterback, are they going to force a guy to develop a little bit faster than he should? That's the question that I have. I would love to see them go out and get a solid veteran like a Joe Flacco or someone like that. If you're going to draft a quarterback, bring in a veteran as well with him, someone that can help him become a pro and adjust to the NFL game. So that's kind of what Pittsburgh now has. They have that veteran, they have that young quarterback, and maybe Russ can mentor Kenny Pickett and develop and move on.
So you think Russ Wilson's going to be starter then instead of?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
They've pretty much said it's a competition. In that competition, I feel like there's no competition. You know, it's kind of like when we were talking about the Anthony Joshua, Francis Ngannou. There really wasn't much competition. I feel like Russ is going to knock the competition out and take the job. And so I just don't see Kenny Pickett unless Kenny Pickett has made some amazing leap forward in the offseason, which is possible. But you're not bringing in a name like Russell to come in. Russell Wilson. I've almost said Russell Westbrook. Russell Wilson. You're not bringing in a guy like that to be like, hey, I just need you to go hold a clipboard and look pretty on the sidelines. You know what I mean? There's many other guys you can bring in to back up Kenny Pickett. So he's been brought in to be the starter and maybe the mentor to their future quarterback. That's kind of the way I see it.
Yeah. Well, it'll be good for Kenny Pickett then.
Hopefully. Well, if he doesn't develop, if Kenny Pickett doesn't make a big improvement over the next 2 seasons, he could find himself in trouble.
Yeah.
So you don't want to end up in a Mac Jones situation where Mac is, looking for a home.
I'll tell you what, though, I'd love to be in Russell Wilson's shoes. That man's making an extra $35 million. Not having to do anything.
It's one of those tough things. For Russ, he wants to play another 5 more years. And I don't know, this is the first step of him being able to play a few more years. But man, it is hard to get $36 million. Someone tells you, we don't want you to go home and go home. You have to be a different kind of cat to be able to be like, you know what? Yes, make sure that money got deposited in, checking the commas, and be like, you know what? I need to get up and work harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole concept of it's hard to get up and fight every day when you're waking up in satin sheets. Is it one of those situations? Will Russ look at this as a new challenge and a chance? And that, from everything I know about Russ, he will. But it's also an easy way to say, to pack it in. He's been in the league for a while, but this could be either a wake up call where he's going to be ready,
Mm-hmm.
or this would be Russ's last stop. If Russ goes to Pittsburgh and flops out, he's done in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
This is a make or break year for Russ.
Yeah.
There won't be another landing spot for Russ where he's going to be like the starter. It's kind of like Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Newton, once he left Carolina, he never found a nice landing spot. Everything okay over there? There was a weird little look you just gave there. I'm good. Just making sure. Did your computer blow up on you? What happened?
No, I'm good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put that out there. I was like, okay, what happened?
No, I'm good.
Oh, no. What happened? Let me hear it.
Well, I was gonna try to send you a message on Zoom, and I accidentally hit the share screen button, and I thought I was gonna mess up the thing, but it's fine. We're all fine.
All right. Okay.
All right. Well, I was gonna ask if you wanted to take a quick break, come back, and we'll talk about Kirk Cousins and Baker
Let's
Mayfield.
do it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All
right.
Then that's what we'll do.
See, this is the behind the scenes that's not really behind the scenes. All I know is I saw this look that Faith gave that was like, oh crap, what the heck just happened? So I knew there was consequences and repercussions going on.
We're fine. Everything's fine.
Nothing to see here, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, happy birthday, Mama.
Yeah, happy birthday, Mom. Love you. All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll come back to this topic and talk about Kirk Cousins and Baker Mayfield. So stick around.